Welcome in, and thanks for joining us for the latest edition of the WHHI Daily News, where we strive to bring you more Lowcountry news more often. I'm Bob Stevens. It was 130 years ago today the Lowcountry was recovering from a horrific hurricane that historians say featured 120-mile-an-hour winds, storm surges of 12 to 15 feet, and killed somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000 of our ancestors. Hurricanes didn't have names back then, but this one did carry a message of disaster. And according to the Island Packet's David Lauderdale, it was actually the first big storm served by the newly created American Red Cross. All right, our nice, calm storm season is turned in a hurry with the pop-up of Idalia, which strengthened into a hurricane late Monday that could be a Category 3 by the time it reaches land. Currently predicted to be up in the Great Bend area of Florida early Wednesday, with winds possibly over 100 miles an hour. The National Hurricane Center says we could see tropical storm-force winds by the middle of Wednesday, with heavy rains in the 4 to 8 inch range Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and storm surge flooding along the coast into Thursday morning. The storm preparations we've been talking about over this past weekend should be taken seriously Tuesday before we hunker down for the storm Wednesday and into Thursday morning. We'll talk more with Tom Dunn of the Hilton Head Emergency Management Department in just a few minutes. If the storm's not as bad as forecast, the teardown of the old Port Royal shrimp dock should be finished by the end of this week, setting the town up to replace it with a new dock that could revive the shrimping business that was a primary economic builder of the town on Battery Creek. The old dock was deemed unsafe, and shrimping business was turned away a couple of years ago, but $2 million in state money and a lot of local commitment could reestablish shrimp processing, along with the redevelopment of the waterfront that's going on now. The configuration of the new dock still has not been completely determined. This one's going to take you back. Shayla Bryan of Beaufort was convicted of trying to kill her 3-year-old daughter more than 9 years ago, but has now been found not guilty by reason of insanity and will be placed under the supervision of mental health professionals, not the prison system, though she could still have to serve the rest of her 30-year sentence if she is deemed to need hospitalization. But a judge could also rule to free Bryan if the State Department of Mental Health determines that she does not have to be hospitalized. She was given a new trial this spring. Her longtime psychiatrist says she has schizoaffective disorder that was really not connected to her illegal drug use, which was believed to have caused the incident in the first place, making the crime more mental health related than drug related. The daughter, by the way, who is now 14, is under the care of her grandmother. For more details on these stories and other Lowcountry news, we invite you to visit the sources listed on your screen. The path of Hurricane Idalia looks fairly easy to predict at this point, but its activity is definitely not. Maria Soden has the latest.
Thanks, Bob. Yep, so taking a look ahead, Idalia, the first big storm that's going to impact us here in the Lowcountry this season, is on its way. And a couple things we need to be concerned about is flooding and power outages. We're already starting to see some isolated showers from the storm early on in this week, but as it progresses, we're expected to get at least 4 to 8 inches of rain. Another thing we need to be looking out for is storm surge. We do have a supermoon this week, so that means it's going to add 3 feet to the tide. Finally, we are going to get winds up to, if not more than 65 miles per hour. So how are you going to get ready for the storm? First thing you can do is scan these QR codes. We have Hilton, Bluffton, and Beaufort up here for you to see how your neighborhoods are getting ready for the storm. Also on those websites, you can see emergency checklists on any supplies you should be getting. Another thing you can do is sign up for the Beaufort County Nixle system on bcso.net, where you'll get local updates on any power outages and flooding in the area. And finally, make sure you're keeping up with the National Hurricane Center for any progressions on the storm. So taking a look at overview of the week, Tuesday we're going to see scattered rain throughout the day, but it's going to start to pick up in the evening. Then Wednesday is going to be impact day for us for the hurricane. We're going to see heavy rain all day with high winds. Then come Thursday, the rain is going to continue on into the morning, but hopefully slow down by the afternoon and into the evening. And then come Friday, we should be clear of the storm and it's supposed to be sunny. So that's it for today. Make sure you're staying safe, and let's head it back to the desk.
When we come back, we're going to talk about a lot of great high school football, but more immediately, we're going to talk with Tom Dunn, the Emergency Management Coordinator for the island of Hilton Head, about the coming storm.